Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, so let's continue with our discussion on storing the information in our brain. So back in 2006, I started looking for people who have already mastered their brain. How would you find such persons? It was a bit of challenge again, but I like challenges. So in that area, in that field, I found a person called Bruno Furst. And because I was so busy in my studies, I didn't have the time to physically go and meet him. I bought one of his courses. He developed a course, all you can remember. And it was an incredible course that I did. And that opened a new world for me. He was a person who was exactly who I was looking for. A person who has research into the brain and how you can store information in your brain. He's done all this, right? And he's made a whole course. And he was doing it for many years, since 1960s. And from his courses, what I picked up that this knowledge was in existence for centuries. Okay, so hold on 1 second. So we are saying that you can pick up information and you can look at it once and then you can memorize it, and you can hear something once and you can memorize it, or you can see something once and you can memorize it. If such knowledge was in existence, where was it, and why wasn't it shared with us? This took another route in my research, and later noted that there are forces in the world that do not want humans to have this knowledge of having this ability to progress. There are forces which are going against that as well, and inshallah I'll discuss that later on. But let's continue with what I picked up from Dr. Bruno Furst. So the biggest lesson that I picked from him was that we remember stuff like you remember movies. I'm sure you remember dramas, movies, serials, right? And your YouTube programs, stuff like this, yeah? You remember this. Why? Why do you remember all this? You remember your movie. If I start talking about your favorite movie, you can tell me exactly the scenes or drama or film or cartoons or anything. You can remember every single detail of that just by looking at it once. Why don't you do that with your studies? So this was the research, how we can take that knowledge and apply it into your studies, right? So Dr. Bruno Furst says that humans learn in photos, in images, in illustrations, in shapes. So if I say to you 1589456, remember it. These numbers don't mean anything to you. These are just numbers. How would you remember? Your brain would chuck out the stuff that it doesn't like. So you're not going to retain any of that. If you do, then I'm sure you're genius. But what we are looking for is to make everyone genius. And that's what I believe in, a process. Everything has a process. And you will hear me a lot talking about processes and every single thing. I see stuff. Some people see things in shapes, I see in process. So what Bruno Furst said is these numbers, instead of memorizing the numbers, if you somehow change it into shapes, then you can remember it better. If you can change it into some image or some picture, you can then remember the numbers as well. That makes perfect sense. So let's say instead of remembering number 1, I ask you to remember a candle. See, so easy, right? So you can remember a candle, but you can't remember number 1. So this is how brain is structured. So what he proposed was a system called major system of converting the numbers into objects, into pictures and images, right? And so I've obviously done that. And later on, I developed my own systems based on his major system. I developed my own systems as well, because obviously some things might be clashing with our beliefs. So I kind of change it to make sense to what we believe in, but it doesn't take, the soul is there. So we take the systems from them and they took it from someone else in the past. Cyanide and stuff. There are many people in the past, and I think we've gone over the time now. So inshallah, now in the next video, I will tell you further about this. Like after Bruno Furst, who did I go and meet? What did I do? How did I take it to the next level? So we are in 2006 and 2007 at the moment, and we're going to progress inshallah to 2019-20 inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.